soon as the dot appears. Okay. Welcome everyone to the May edition of the Golang Tools call. Thanks everyone for joining. And hello everyone. Welcome back, Alan.
Oh, thank you.
Who's returned to the Tools team. And
nice to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So I thought that today would be a quick one, but the agenda is sort of filling up as we speak. So let's get started from the top. I have remembered to record the session, and we have an initial procedural agenda item, which is, should we move this call up 30 minutes to the start of the hour? This was originally requested by Brian, but Dan, you said it also would probably be better for people in European time zones. I have no problem with it. Seems like a reasonable idea.
I think my only question then is, do we have anybody joining from the West Coast? Because that would make it 8 a.m., I think, for them.
Not that I know of. Is anyone here from the West Coast? Okay. Thank you. If 8 a.m. is not too much of a problem, then I guess, yeah, let's do it. Okay. Great, let's do it. Okay, cool. Moving on to IDE editor tools. I think there's a couple sort of library topics in the general section, which I suppose fall into this category. The first one was added by me and Dan, which is to discuss the formal deprecation of AST.object. I added it because I think we're kind of logjammed a little bit. I support deprecating AST.object. I think it would probably reduce memory usage and CPU time for parsing across a wide range of applications. So I think we should head towards this. My only objection to the proposal is that I think if we are to deprecate it, we should have a replacement. And I don't think GoTypes is necessarily a viable replacement for all users. Not all users will have a notion of a package when they are working with AST files. So I think that we should have some sort of API for doing syntactic object resolution. I made a proposal or a proposal for such an API in the issue. I don't think it's a great API. So I think someone needs to think about it and come up with an ideal mechanism. Oh, and Roger notes that he wants to add a minor item. So we'll get to that after this discussion. So I'll add that next. So if someone is interested, I mean, I can take a more, I can take a more thorough attempt at designing this API, but if anyone else is interested at proposing, oh, cool. If anyone else is interested in proposing an API for object resolution, please feel free. I think that whatever it is should not involve mutating the AST ident. Like if we're going to expose an external mechanism for object resolution, it shouldn't mutate the incoming file. So it should like write a map or something. Anyway, does anyone have thoughts on that? Dan, is there anything you wanted to say?
I guess maybe this is about the deprecation semantics, but I thought deprecating doesn't necessarily mean that nobody should use it. It's just, I guess maybe like a soft deprecation, like FYI, you might not want to use this. Because at least that's what I was trying to get at. Many people come to Go AST, they see object and they go like, I'm going to use that, and they're not aware that it's probably not what they want.
I think we could probably add that documentation today, but if we're going to encourage people not to use it, then we should eventually disable object resolution when parsing, because it's a sort of free performance optimization. And at that point, someone who wants to use AST object won't know whether or not it's available. And I think we want to have a mechanism for them to always produce correct results, even if they don't know whether an AST.object is populated.
It seems like a breaking API change the day we make that. No matter how much warning and time we give, it's still a breaking change.
Well, I don't think we can ever disable object resolution for parser mode 0. Right. I think it always has to be enabled by a parser mode.
Right.
And it's kind of a breaking. I mean, there are analyzers that GoPlease uses, such as like the HTTP response analyzer, that use AST.object. Yeah, Dominic asked, I reckon you mean disabling it in Go Analysis Runner? Yeah. If we ever wanted to start disabling object resolution, syntactic object resolution in Go Analysis or Go Packages, we would need to be able to update all of the existing analyzers that use it to do something else.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I think I'm not going to do anything with this now, but maybe for 120, I'll take a swing at a better API, or someone else can if they're interested. Okay, then moving on, Roger was able to add his items. So the next thing is Alan to give a positive update on Go SSA.
A very brief but positive update. So I just want to say we're thinking about generics and SSA and how to make it work. And there's a number of approaches that we're weighing up. I don't know if I can really give progress more than that at this point, just because we're still in the middle of discussing 3 different designs. But I hope that by the end of the week, we should actually have some consensus on what it will look like. One of the concerns is that we would like to make it possible to do compilation unit at a time analysis that writes out its results, and then some link step would kind of combine all those partial results. And that means that there can't be any system based on seeing the whole of your transitive closure in memory at the same time. Which some of the kind of like instantiation ideas we've seen would require that. So we want to avoid that. But I guess I just wanted to say we're looking at this problem right now and hope to have a design very soon.
Thank you, Alan. Moving on, Roger.
Yeah, a very, very minor issue, just that it annoys me every time it happens, is in the playground, you're working on something, you spent like 15 minutes, half an hour or something editing it. I accidentally press Control W because I do, and then reopen close tab and all that work is gone. And I was just wondering if there's any chance that anyone knows someone that might be able to fix that at some point. That would be awesome. I
confess, I don't know how to fix that. I'm sure there's a mechanism because
it used to work.
Yeah.
It used to work. You know, and actually, you do see your work for a fraction of a second before it is removed in front of your eyes, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like
taunting you.
It does taunt me. It does taunt me. I'm only putting it there just because it happened. You know, I'd spent 10 minutes or something. It was, you know, it's nothing really, but also it's very annoying and it's a paper cut.
I am sure we would welcome a CL to re-implement
I have
that.
no idea how any of this JavaScript stuff works, so I'm probably not the one.
Okay.
Filing issue is a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, there is an issue. It's been filed. I've linked the issue in the document.
Yeah, I would like that. I've done that too. I would love that feature. Cool. Next is Dan, who has taken over Dominic's issue for adding dir and target and perhaps other fields to the package struct.
Yeah, and I think this is just surfacing a ping that he did nearly a month ago at the end of this thread, which is there's 2 parallel proposals to do something with Go packages relating to info that's build system specific, and they're both sort of stalled. And I think the comment is just saying, can we make a decision? I probably go with this one, which is the simpler fix, the simpler change. But maybe the first question is anybody responsible for Go packages these days? Because I'm a bit lost.
So Michael and I are sort of responsible for Go packages, although everyone is spread thin. I will make a note to take another look at that issue and see what I can do to move it forward.
I should maybe note that if you are spread too thin, at least now, this is not putting pressure on you, obviously.
Okay, sounds good. Moving on. Next is Dan as well. Partial support in GoMod vendor.
Yeah, I I was looking into this earlier today, and I realized that Brian, towards the end of this comment, says, "I still think that's a good idea in concept, as in allowing passing a package pattern to Go mode vendor to do partial vendoring." And I'm wondering if that idea got lost to time, because I think it would be useful and maybe it should be tracked in a new issue.
There's a new proposal filed for it. I will add a link in the notes doc.
Oh, there is. I couldn't find it.
Okay. If nothing else on that, we can move on to miscellaneous. Dan, you again. Does package site support the new Godoc format per 119's GoFont? I don't know if we have any representative of package site here, so I'm not sure if anyone knows the answer to this question. I'm sure that it will eventually. And I thought that in Russ's proposal, he had even mocked up support in package site. Maybe it was something else, but yeah, I guess the answer is I don't know. Does anyone know? It didn't. The pod said it did not as of 2 weeks ago. Okay, I can check with Jonathan or Jamal and see. And yeah, maybe there's an issue filed for this already, but if not, we'll file an issue because there should be something to track.
Okay. I added it to the agenda. I nearly filed an issue, but I thought there must be one, so I thought I would ask first.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I will follow up and add something to the agenda.
The next item is also mine, and I'm going to try to be brief. Essentially, we've been relying on Paul Jolly to do a lot of the lifting in terms of owning the Google Drive for these documents, but also the YouTube to host the recordings in form of video. So I'm trying to reduce the bus factor and create a bot account for that stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like we can use any form of org because there are YouTube brand accounts where you can share a YouTube channel between multiple people, but you can't own a Drive folder with that stuff. So I created a Gmail account called golang.tools.badger because I'm very creative. And I do own the password and 2FA keys, but I shared them with Paul privately as well. So if I disappear for any reason, Paul has them as well. I created a channel, which only has 2 videos right now, the 2 missing videos from the last 2 months. I gave admin-like powers to the YouTube channel to as many people as I thought were regulars and have run calls recently. But if I forgot anybody, please let me know. Or actually, any of you can add people because everybody should have all permissions. So that's easy. I also added the bot to the shared folder with all the recordings. So by the same process, we can also add people there who run these calls and then need to upload videos. And then I've got a few mental to-dos here, which is Paul still owns the shared drive hosting all the documents, all these agenda documents. So I need to talk to him to transfer that. I need to update the wiki with all this information. And then there's the question of the existing videos that Paul has updated for 2 years, uploaded for 2 years. I don't think YouTube allows you to transfer videos, but if he doesn't want them to be published from his personal account, I can just re-upload them. And then there's a stretch goal of what to do with the Golang tools mailing list. Do we want to transfer the ownership to the bot account for consistency? I'm not sure if it matters, but my default thinking is probably we should do that, but I'm happy to defer.
This sounds great. Thank you for taking this on. I think this is really good for the long-term maintainability of this call. So, and I don't know about the mailing list. I'm guessing it doesn't matter.
And there's also the calls themselves, which I think we want to keep owned by a Googler anyway, just because of the recording feature, right? Because obviously the free bot account doesn't have that sort of fancy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we have shared ownership for this call among the team, so that shouldn't be a problem. All right, great. I guess we can move on. Thanks for that update. we're mostly done with the agenda. Is there anything else since we have extra time? Is there anything anyone wants to discuss? All right. Well, we can make this a quick one then. We do need a volunteer for the next session. Since I'm a Googler, the next one we agreed would be a non-Googler. Does anyone want to volunteer other than Dan? Dan has sort of already volunteered. But if anyone is interested, there's an opportunity. Going once, going twice, sold to Dan. You get it for $0.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Are people happy with June 22nd, which is 5 weeks from now, I think?
That works for me.
And that would be 30 minutes earlier, right?
Yes. Oops. Great. All right. Well, great seeing everyone. Thank you.
So yeah.